Yep. Y'all already know who it is. It's King Ade with the Wizards Review. And we took a loss tonight, man. We took a loss to the Bucks. You know what I mean? Defending world champs. And, you know, I'm never happy when we lose. Never, ever happy. And I'm not happy tonight. But honestly, I'm not as angry as I thought I was going to be before the game started. Although we lost by double digits. Oh. My fault, y'all. I gotta fix this real quick. Okay. Alright. My fault, y'all. Alright. Although we lost by double digits, the game was much closer than I anticipated. You know what I mean? Moments of the game. It got out of hand towards the end of the game. You know what I mean? And the score got blown to double digits. And you know, there were parts of the game where the score was indicative. The final score was indicative of how we played, how things turned out. Like, we were down double digits a lot throughout the game. But then there were parts of the game, like, you know, going into the fourth quarter, moments within the fourth quarter where we got close to as we even took the lead. You know what I'm saying? We even took the lead, and it started to look good, and, you know, we looked like we may pull the upset. But unfortunately, in the NBA, you know, it's a league of superstars. And when you have a superstar player, a max-type player steps up when the team needs him the most and closes the game out. That's what you pay a $200 million player to do. If he can't do that, he doesn't get $200 million. He doesn't get a Supermax contract. But I digress. So, you know, I wasn't angry as I thought I would be. The effort was there, especially in the second half of the game. It was an entertaining game for the majority of the game. Let me stop lying. Not the majority of the game. Because the first half was atrocious, but the second half was a much more entertaining game, and we felt like we had a chance to win. Let me say that. I never thought we were going to win the game, but it felt like we had a chance to win. So without further ado, since we lost the game, let me just start with the things that I liked. There were some things I liked about the game tonight. One of the game, initially, I started the first time I even made a note about something I liked tonight was when the bench got in the game. You know what I mean? So let's just start there. I like the bench energy tonight because the starters, they were trash. They didn't play well. They didn't play with energy. They got down very fast, but slowly but surely the bench started to come in, and they got us back in the game. You know what I mean? They got us back in the game. Harold's presence in the paint, man. I just love his energy, man. I've been loving his energy the majority of the season. And when we needed him to bring that energy, he brought it tonight. So I like that. Kispert played all right tonight, especially in the first half when we weren't looking good. He still, you know, got the IQ. He still misses too many wide open shots for my liking, especially for somebody that's supposed to be a sharpshooter. You know what I mean? So I definitely didn't like that he still missing shots. But he's still effective out there. He's still not a liability for the most part. And I just like his continued development. So I like what I saw from him. Like I said, our bench got the game back close when we got down double digits in the first quarter. We closed the first quarter on a 16-4 run. So, and I think we were down by 2. I think it was 22-20 at the end of the first quarter. So again, man, for us to start off terribly, the bench comes in and, you know, gets us back into the game, shows a lot about the depth that I thought we had. I'm not going to say we have depth anymore. The team as a whole isn't what I thought it was. It was an illusion. It was a trick on the eyes, a trick on the mind. It was just terrible, you know what I'm saying? But for the bench to come in and bring us back into the game, and they've done that throughout the season, it's definitely a good sign. I wish we just had a better starting unit that, you know, was more consistent. Although we didn't have Bradley Beal, but who's to say that the game would have been any better if he was there. You know what I'm saying? Um, I like Kuzma, especially in the second quarter. He started to get warm up in the second quarter. And then in the second half, third quarter, fourth quarter, he just started to really, really show his potential. And what else I liked about Kuzma tonight, they had him mic'd up. This was a national game, national TV, TNT game, so they had Kuzma mic'd up. And just his leadership. Like, you could just see that he's played with a leader like LeBron James. And, I don't want to give Bradley Beal too much hell, because it's not like he's running around. Well, he's not saying it verbally out of his mouth that I'm a max player. And this and that. There's things that he does, and sometimes when he's interviewed and answers questions, he might give the impression that he thinks he's a max player, but he hasn't explicitly said that he's a max player. You know what I'm saying? But I say that to say it took LeBron James to get with Dwayne Wade, to get with a winner to learn how to win. Bradley Beal has never had a winner. Like, he's had winners on his team that were role players. I remember with John Wall and Bradley Beal had players like Trevor Ariza. That season when they had all those role players, and I think Randy Whitman was the coach. And to me, that was their best season when they went all the way to the second round, Game 7 against Boston in the playoffs. They had a lot of leadership there, you know what I mean? A lot of role players. And they had a Paul Pierce as well that was at the back end of his career, but that was showing those guys, John Wall and Bradley Beal, how to be a winner. But they didn't have a player that was close in his prime or declining but still in his prime that Bradley Beal has, had to show him how to win. I felt Bradley Beal had his best season last year when Russell Westbrook was really the leader of the team. You know what I'm saying? Bradley Beal's a great number 2. He's a great number 2, but he's not a number 1, and that's what the Wizards are trying to sell us, that he's a number 1 player, and he's not. So I can't blame Bradley Beal 100% when it's the organization who's really selling this pipe dream to us. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep in mind that the organization, this is their plan. This has been their plan when they let John Wall go and traded him for Russell Westbrook. You know what I mean? So let's not come for Bradley Beal all the way. Not to say he doesn't deserve any blame because he's not a number 1. But the organization has to get a big hand in this as well. So I just wanted to say that. So back to the game. Thomas Bryant got hurt tonight. Gafford got in. Unfortunately, it took someone to get hurt for Gafford that didn't do anything to lose his minutes to get minutes tonight. And he was effective doing the things that we love from Gafford. Being a defensive presence in the paint, blocking shots, getting rebounds, doing monster dunks. The energy that we like from Gafford that we are still befuddled on why he got benched in the first place. But I have a theory, and I'll share that towards the end of this live stream. But I did like Gafford not pouting, still being a professional and just doing what he does, man. So I liked his presence tonight. We woke up in the third quarter after having, again, an atrocious first half. We woke up in the third quarter, and we cut the lead down to single digits closing the third quarter. You know what I mean? We fought back, battled back with a lot of players from the bench. Like I said, Gafford got in the third quarter. So there was just a lot of much more energy, much more effectiveness. So I definitely like that. Rui was showing flashes again of his mid-range. Rebounding the ball well. Just if he gets his legs back and get back to what he was showing last year, but even build on that even more, I just feel like Rui could be a valuable piece. You know what I'm saying? I know that there's a lot of trade rumors going on and everybody's on the table. And quite frankly, I do have an opinion on what should happen, and I'll share that towards the end of this live stream as well. But I feel like Rui is a piece that we should keep. You know what I'm saying? He shows a lot of potential. He's just getting back. And he just, as long as he keeps playing and keeps getting his legs back, I feel he can still be a productive player for us. So I like what I saw from him. I liked us dominating the paint in the second half for the most part until the end of the fourth quarter when Giannis went crazy. But in the first half, we got dominated in the paint, but in the second half, we started to get everything, started to play much better. And like I said, we started to dominate the paint and just was much more effective in the paint. Again, I think that's a little bit to do with Gafford playing more, Harrell playing more. And again, I just think when we were most effective in this during the season is when Gafford and Harrell were our starting centers. I mean, they both aren't the starting centers, but Gafford starting at the center, Montrezl backing them up. That's when we've been our best. Not to say we didn't see flashes from Bryant, and when we played the Sixers, when Bryant came back, and we played one of our best games of the season, Bryant looked like a great, and I was very comfortable having a three-man rotation at the center. But to take Gafford out and have Bryant start and then Harrell back him up, you took away our defensive presence by doing that, making that rotation switch. So I didn't like that Gafford got taken out the lineup completely. He didn't do anything to deserve that. He's been our best center the last few games before he got taken out. So I just didn't understand that. But anyway, I like that we were dominating in the paint, and definitely, especially in the second half. Also in the second half, we minimized our turnovers compared to the first half. For the most part, we didn't turn the ball over as much, and it helped lead to us coming back in the second half and making this game competitive. We also shot the ball much, much better in the second half. I believe we were over 50% shooting in the second half compared to the first half when we just could not make nothing go down. We looked terrible. So I like that we got better in the second half. Our offensive was more efficient. And again, except for Rui, it was the rotation, minus Bill, of course, but it was the rotation that we got accustomed to when Rui wasn't playing, when Bryant wasn't playing, and even at times when Bill wasn't playing. The players that we were used to playing got us back in the game. You know what I mean? So I definitely liked what I saw. Harrell and Kuzma led the way in the second half, and they were leading the way for us to even get back in the game and to make it a game before it got ugly at the end of the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? So I definitely like seeing Harrell and Kuzma out there. Two pieces that I feel should not be traded. If we're gonna, if any player is available, okay, fine. But there should be some players that we should be able to build around. You know what I mean? We're not going to be a competitive team this season that I thought we were going to be, but there's still some pieces that we should still keep to at least be competitive on a nightly basis, even if we're losing and not going to make the playoffs. And I believe, and then to even build for next season, if we have a good draft to get some young players and maybe a good free agent, we still got to have some core pieces. And I feel like Kuzma has proven himself to be a valuable asset that, if we could get something good for him, okay, fine. Same with Harrell. But if we don't trade him for just pennies on a dollar, or trade him for nothing. You know what I mean? There's some good pieces that we could keep. There's other players I feel that should be traded. And again, I'll speak about that towards the end of this live stream. We took the lead in the fourth. We took our first lead in the fourth quarter, which was encouraging. Again, I never thought we were going to win the game, but just being able to do that when we started off so horrendously was, showed some character, showed some heart, and gave us some hope that maybe we might get the steal. We might get a win. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely like that. And Dinwiddie, he played a terrible game tonight. Let's not get it confused. Terrible game. But he hit some big threes that also helped us get back in the game in the second half. So I'll give him a little credit for that. But that's about it from him. You know what I mean? So that's basically all that I liked tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't think everything I liked was enough to get us a win. You know what I'm saying? When you put it all together. But it still was enough to keep us competitive, which we were for a good amount of time throughout the game, except towards the end of the game when it got ugly and out of hand. So let's speak about the things that I dislike. And off jump, man, our start defensively, when we let them just do whatever they wanted, and Giannis didn't even score in the first quarter, and they were doing whatever they wanted. Bobby Portis was getting hot. I definitely didn't like that. Our three-point defense looked like a Scott Brooks coach team. The Bucks started 5 for 5 from the field. I mean, they were getting whatever they wanted. Again, Portis started fast. I remember when we had Bobby Portis on the Wizards, and he looks like he was a decent player when he was on the Wizards, but he's much better than he was. He's much better now than he was then, you know what I'm saying? And he showed that tonight, man. He was hitting us with, backing down, turnaround, jumpers, floaters, all that, man. He was doing whatever he wanted, man. So I definitely didn't like that. I also didn't like our shot selection in the first half. I felt we took too many fast shots. Maybe throughout the game I didn't like our shot selection at times, but definitely in the first half. I thought we took too many bad shots, didn't run the offense. We got down double digits in the first quarter. I don't like that at all. And then Dinwiddie, man. Again, I already mentioned it, except for the couple three-pointers he hit in the second half. He looked terrible tonight, like terrible. Like he didn't even want to be out there. And it's been like that for a long time throughout the season. His energy is just not what we need. And if I say there's players that we shouldn't get rid of, he definitely is not one of them. If we could trade him during this trade deadline, I really hope they make that decision to do that, man. Because I just don't like his energy, man. I've been defending him. I know if you've been watching my live streams, especially earlier in the year, when a lot of y'all have been down on him, and I've been like, he's going to get better, he's going to get his legs back, giving him the benefit of the doubt. There's no more of that. He's a bum, and we need to get rid of him. That's just what it is, bottom line. So that's what I feel about him. And tonight didn't help his case at all. He looked terrible, man. He looked terrible. He played well. He played all right. Again, he gave us defense. He hit a couple shots, but he's still not finishing at the rim. He's still missing easy two-pointers, momentum-killing shots that an NBA player should be making in his sleep. You know what I mean? So I didn't like that. And also, in his first half, he made some bad turnovers. He was part of our turnover problem in the first half, man. Just bad passing, not being good with the ball, making bad passes. I mean, he's not a good passer yet. You know what I mean? He's a great defender, not a good passer, and he's not a good finisher. He needs to get better at that, man. Again, turnovers in the first half, especially in the second quarter. Our turnovers in the second quarter allowed the Bucks to go back up double digits after we closed the window and got down, cut the lead down to single digits. Then we started to turn the ball over in the second quarter, and then they went back up double digits in the second quarter. Closed the second quarter with a double-digit lead. You know what I mean? To our credit, though, like I said, we came out with a better energy in the third quarter, and we cut the lead down to single digits. Even took the lead briefly in the fourth quarter. So we showed some heart in the second quarter, but again, it's been a problem all season. We don't play for a full 48 minutes. I don't know what's up with that, but we don't play for a full 48 minutes. So I definitely didn't like that, man. The Bucks dominated us on a fast break, on fast break points tonight. I mean, that's what they do. They got Giannis. Only needs to take 3 strides to get from end to end. You know what I'm saying? That's what it seems like, man. But they were just doing what they wanted to do on a fast break. You know what I mean? So that definitely was a problem. They had an 11-2 run in the fourth quarter, which closed us out, which helped expand the lead back to double digits, and they never looked back. And I felt like that was the back-breaking run that really took the wind out of our sails, and we lost the game with that run. That was the run that closed the game out. I wanted to mention Neto. Man, in crunch time, fourth quarter, just making bad decisions, taking bad layups instead of getting the ball to Kuzma and Harrell, the 2 players that got us back in the game in the first place. He tried to do things he shouldn't be doing. And he tried to make layups in the midst of the trees like Giannis. So again, Neto didn't play well. But the biggest reason we really lost was Giannis Antetokounmpo, man. Starting in the second quarter, all the way to the fourth quarter, especially towards the end of the fourth quarter. Like I said, he didn't score in the first quarter, but second to fourth quarter, he took over. He started hitting jumpers, got hot in the second, third quarter. He scored 12 points in the third quarter alone. He ended up with a triple-double, and he closed us out in the fourth. He closed us out in the fourth quarter, what a max player is supposed to do. That's exactly what he did. What an MVP player is supposed to do when the team needs him to close the game. That's what he did. He closed us out tonight, man. He shut the window. Took away all hope. You know what I'm saying? He just did what Giannis do. In my opinion, he's the best player in the league right now. You know what I'm saying? So just to see him close us out like that was very disheartening, but it was expected. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a player of that caliber. Especially tonight, we didn't even have our best player, or supposedly our best player, arguably now our best player. I'm not going to say undisputed best player. I can't say that anymore. So that's everything I disliked tonight. The final score was kind of what I anticipated, but the ebbs and flow of the game, some of it was what I anticipated, and other times throughout the game, I didn't anticipate us being competitive. But at the end of the day, the final score was kind of a reflection of what I thought the final score would be. You know what I mean? So we lost by double digits against the world champs without Bradley Beal. So it is what it is, man. So, man, I just wanted to speak really quick about, all the speculation, all the talk about the trade deadline and what may or may not occur. Tonight, to me, there was some things that were revealing. Ultimately, I do think the whole roster is open for a trade. Overall, even for the longest, I was an advocate of not getting Bradley Beal, not being touchable. Don't trade Beal, but I'm over that now. If they can trade him at the trade deadline, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, man, because the biggest reason why I say that, if you're going to trade Bradley Beal, though, don't trade Kyle Kuzma. Don't trade Montrezl Harrell. You know what I'm saying? Who else wouldn't I trade? I wouldn't trade Rui. I wouldn't trade Denny. I wouldn't trade Kispert. I wouldn't trade Gafford. I would just keep a core. You know what I mean? I would keep a core. But Dinwiddie, Bradley Beal, you could trade them. And if you could get good pieces or a good package for some of the players I mentioned that shouldn't be traded, like Gafford or Harrell or Kuzma, if you get very good compensation for that, then you could trade them too. But we still want to have a competitive product on the floor, you know what I'm saying? And even pieces to build on while we draft players that can potentially become number ones, while we have solid players with heart. That's what I like about Kuzma. And tonight, with him being mic'd up and being a leader, just talking to the team, encouraging them, telling them what they need to do, while he's out there being a double-double machine, had 25 and 11 tonight, so he had the clout to be able to talk, but being able to step up and speak up. What I think is happening with this team is that they've been sold, all the free agents that we brought in have been sold that Bradley Beal's the leader of the team, and we need to follow Bradley Beal's lead. Bradley Beal's not a natural leader. And I just feel that all these players coming in not wanting to step on Bradley Beal's toes and not being as vocal as they would like to be, because seeing Kuzma tonight, knowing Bradley Beal's not playing tonight, somebody needs to fill the void of leadership, and Kyle Kuzma just seems much more comfortable being a leader. He's already shown the potential to hit clutch shots for us in the fourth quarter and be a clutch player at times, and he helped us get a lot of wins that we got this season. You know what I mean? So if we're going to trade players, Kuzma is not a player I feel we need to trade. I like Montrezl Harrell's heart. I like the energy that he brings. And again, we might not be a playoff team this year. We're definitely not going to be a contender for the East. But you still want to have some pieces to build around if we're going to build something. You want to have some core players. You know what I mean? So, there's a couple players that I feel we shouldn't trade unless we get good compensation for. I do feel all players are on the trade block, and there better be some type of activity happening before the trade deadline. If we have the same roster that we have now after the trade deadline, I'll feel some type of way about that. You know what I mean? So that's all I got to say about that, though, man. So I'm looking forward to see what goes down. Obviously, this is not working. Dinwiddie is not the answer at the point guard position. He's a total opposite of the type of point guards that we've been accustomed to having this last decade. You know, an athletic, or at least a fast point guard, something like a Ish Smith. You know what I mean? Backing up an athletic Russell Westbrook, and then John Wall before that. Those are the type of point guards that we need. And that's the type of point guard that if we're going to keep Bradley Beal, that's the type of running mate he needs to have. But he has to be a number one. Bradley Beal's not a number one, and players can't come into the Wizards organization thinking that they have to appease Bradley Beal. They can't step on the toes of Bradley Beal. Because I feel, after seeing tonight and hearing Kuzma mic'd up and just observing us the last few games, the last month or so, and then the damning quote that Dinwiddie said a couple nights ago after the loss to Memphis, where he said he tried to step up and be a leader, but it wasn't necessarily welcome. That was an indirect shot at Bradley Beal, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that Dinwiddie earned the right to be a leader. He only had one good season when he was with the Nets. So he hasn't really proven anything, but it revealed something much deeper to me. I just, again, feel that just like us as fans have been sold, players coming into the Wizards organization have been sold the same thing. Bradley Beal's our leader. I remember watching an interview of Montrezl Harrell right around the time the season started, where he said something to the effect like, "We came here to help Beal win. We came here to help Beal. Everything is about Beal. Beal's the leader. Beal's the leader." See, he didn't earn that. The organization has put that title, put that narrative out. And I don't think Bradley Beal can fit in those shoes. And he's not comfortable being that. He's more comfortable being a Robin to a Batman. He's cool with that. And ain't nothing wrong with that. He's effective in that role. But when you put him in a role as a leader and telling everybody coming into the organization that he's the leader of the team, you see he's faltering. Russell Westbrook, he already had that clout. So you could tell him whatever. You could tell Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal's the leader of the team. But Russell Westbrook is Russell Westbrook. He's going to do what he do. So by default, he's going to be a leader even if he's not trying to be. That's just who he is. That's his personality. Bradley Beal doesn't have that type of personality, and I feel it's kind of unfair for the organization to put that narrative out there and put that type of pressure on somebody that doesn't even have it. He is not a Supermax player, and if he gets paid Supermax money at the end of the season, signs a Supermax deal, you're only being a detriment to him, you're hindering the growth of the organization, and you're going to alienate the fan base if you do that, because we're not stupid. We all know that Bradley Beal is not a max player. So don't fool yourselves. Trade him and get something for him and do something better with the money to help build the team for the future. This Bradley Beal experiment, you already traded John Wall. I wasn't happy about that, but y'all may have been right because he hasn't played for damn near 2 years. You know what I mean? So I'll give y'all the benefit of the doubt for that. Bradley Beal, to try to sell him, I think y'all like him because he's easy to manage. He's not somebody you have to worry about off the court. And that is good character to have and all of that. But LeBron James is somebody you don't got to worry about off the court. But he's a number one player. Giannis is somebody you don't have to worry about off the court. But he's a number one player. Bradley Beal is not a number one player. So you got to stop treating him like that, watching the Wizards organization. Mr. Ted Leonsis, Mr. Tommy Shepard. Y'all can't have him as the lead player. Y'all got to make some moves. Salvage what's left of the season. Keep as much money as you can for the free agency in the summer. And keep some core pieces. Y'all got some good pieces now to build off of. Get some more pieces in the summer. Have a good draft, and hopefully we could have a competitive team to start the next season with. You know what I'm saying? This season's a wash. The chemistry is not there. So let's not keep forcing stuff that y'all been forcing. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, that's all I got for y'all tonight, man. That's how I feel about the team, the state of the team. We're looking forward to the next week or so to see what happens. I know a trade is going to happen. I know a few trades may happen. So we're looking forward to see what they do, you know what I mean? So anyway, man, if y'all like the content, man, I would really appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel at the Wizards Review on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. You can follow me, King Ade DMV, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and NBA 2K22 on the Xbox Series X and S. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, till next game, man, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a tough stretch. But as long as they can be competitive, I won't lose my mind. I won't break my TV. I don't expect much anymore from this team. They lost everything, all the stock they have gained, all the goodwill they gained earlier in the season has evaporated, is gone. You know what I mean? So I just want to, hopefully we can just be competitive, man. That's all I can ask right now, man. It's been a debacle, man. It's been terrible. Oh, and one more thing, man, what I think, man, in regards to the three-center situation we have, I'm totally convinced, after seeing Gafford back in the game tonight, that Coach Unseld, he's not making these final calls, man. I'm totally convinced that he's not the one that made this decision to make Gafford sit the bench. You know what I'm saying? I am very confident he does not have the final say. There's somebody upstairs telling him what to do, and he's just following orders. A rookie coach, first coach, head coaching job. He's just being a good company man. He has no say. He has no sway, and he can't refute anything that management says. And I just think that's the position he's in, man. So that's what I think about that. But anyway, man. All right, man. Have a good evening, man. Look forward to seeing y'all next time. Take care. Peace.